Hey, what's up, fellas? Today I wanted to talk about changes that Rewind proposed for the game in the next patch. So, I am of the opinion, as is Rewind, that the most important thing for this game is just a final patch, a good patch, not another combat pack. I don't want another combat pack. This game is 2 years old. Just stop working on this game, other than updates, right? So just give us another game. Work on another game, give us good updates. That's all I want. I'm done learning new characters in this game. So I thought that his proposed changes were really brilliant, actually. And I really wish that developers would listen to high-level players because they really know a lot about fighting games, obviously. So I want to take you through his changes and why I think that they're really good. And then I'm going to add some of mine, what mechanic changes I would like to see in this game. So the first change that he asked for is to buff anti-airs or make jump ins weaker. I think the jump ins themselves are fine in terms of frames. You know, right now if you jump kick someone as soon as possible, as soon as you can, you're minus and you lose your turn. And if you do a deep jump kick, you're plus. And I think it's fine because when you do a deep jump kick, you take risks of getting anti-air. Whereas when you don't, there's not a lot of risk, right? And that goes back to the problem of anti-airs. Anti-airs are weak in this game. So what he says is that you should buff anti-airs and maybe do something like a down 2 would have like shield or something, like a shield to your upper body or something like that, which is, you know, it's fine. I think a quick fix would simply to make something like a standing 1 have a stronger hitbox so that when you trade or something along those lines, or even if you're like almost missing, almost I said, right? You're still gonna touch. And I think that would fix it, because it's true, anti-airs in this game are awful, completely awful. You get jumped on all the time and you have to be like really perfect, and your timing, the spacing, the distance between where the character jumps on you and where you are, sometimes it's just impossible to anti-air and stuff like that. This has to change. Jumping gets abused in this game. I agree with that. Remove pushback on all fatal blows. Completely agree with that one as well. Not everyone is able to punish fatal blows. Like, I'm just thinking of, I don't know, Shiva right now. The final pushback on her last hit. She's minus, but she pushes you so far. If you don't have a reversal, you can't punish it. I'm not even sure if you can punish it with a reversal. I don't remember the frames right now. But a lot of times, how many times has a J done a fatal blow, a raw for example, a wake up fatal blow, you blocked it and you try to go in and she blocks. So then there's no downside for her to do that fatal blow because she has armor, which activates within, I don't even remember. Someone remind how many frames it is. Is it 8 frames that armor starts activating? You know, they reduced it, they nerfed it, which is good. It made the game better because it used to be faster, but still now there's pushback and you can't even punish it. I'm thinking that maybe if you remove the armor from fatal blows, it would be good, I think. I don't really like fatal blows because if you have more health and they have less health, they are an advantage, because if they touch you and they confirm in a combo into their fatal blow, they win. So you are rewarding players for losing, which is, I just generally don't like it. One of the changes that I want to see is that you can skip the animation of fatal blows if both players want to skip it. So if both players, let's say, press select or something during the animation of the fatal blow, it would skip. That I would like, because I'm tired of seeing the fatal blows. After 2 years of seeing them, I don't want to see them anymore, and I wish we could skip it. His fourth point is that remove flawless blocking during hit stun. Flawless block on hit. I completely agree with that. That one is actually surprisingly controversial in the community. Some people say that we should have that, some people say that we shouldn't, and if you don't know what it is, it means that someone jails you, someone does down 3 on you, for example, on hit, you get hit, and then they go to confirm to jail you properly with a standing 1, you flawless block it up to them, and that launches them. That's actually possible. It's rare to see it, but it exists. And essentially, you are punishing the player that hit the other one. So you're rewarding the player that's getting hit by giving them a strong option, which is ridiculous. You shouldn't have to worry about getting launched if you are jailing someone. And of course the counter and the argument against that is that the counter is just delay your jail. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's what you have to do, but it shouldn't even be this way, right? Because first of all, there are bank games. If the guy is really good at flawless blocking on hit and then you start delaying it and he knows you delay, he might be able to just mash out of it because you're delaying, you're not jailing properly. So I don't like it. I think this should go away. Then he says remove regenerating meter. I don't mind regenerating meter a lot. I understand his point of view that here you're just given defensive and offensive meter for nothing, pretty much. Just, you don't earn it, right? It's just given to you. And the alternative is like, you know, in other games we see where you get hit and you block the hits, then you build meter, but you're rewarding people for just blocking. Okay, you're not doing anything, you're just blocking right now. It doesn't take skills to just block, right? It takes skills to be a good defensive player, but that's not being calculated here. It's just calculating your hits on block. It doesn't really make a difference for me. Like, I don't like it, but I don't really mind it. Like, it doesn't really make a difference. I don't care. So, but he says then that offensive meter should be earned. And that one is, I think, a little bit more interesting. I think it would be really interesting if offensive meter would only come back and would only build and come back when you hit confirm, when you hit someone. And then it builds. So it rewards you for hitting someone, for winning. And defensive meter would just come back and just the way it is right now. One thing I don't like about defensive meter though, sometimes during a round, I don't know why it does this. I think it's the guy that loses, his whole defensive bar comes back sometimes. And it's never been explained. I don't understand how it works, but sometimes it doesn't regenerate and sometimes it refills. I don't get it. So that's his arguments. They're really good. This is really smart changes, and he makes a point that you can't ask for things that are just unrealistic. And I think that these things that he's proposing are completely realistic. He also makes a point that defensive options are just too strong in this game, and I completely agree. You are sometimes at a disadvantage if you hit someone and they fall on the ground, because there's so many options on the ground for them, right? If they have bar, they can just normal wake up buttons. They can delay wake up. They can up 2. They can up 3. They can roll, which is why now in this game, when someone falls down, if they have bar, just move away. You either have to jump on them, right? Or you have to like step aside and relax. Or just trying to find a meaty that's really long so that even if they roll or up 2 or up 3 or do something that touches them, right? Like Jade's back 2 or something like that. Ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. I don't like it at all. And that's why for me, what I would do, and this is not realistic, I know, but what I would like is to remove delay wake up. Just remove one of the options, remove delay wake up, so that we can time our meaties properly and not whiff. I should be getting punished because I'm going for a meaty. It's kind of ridiculous, right? Because if you go for a down 1, for example, you time the non-delay, then you can, if you're just gonna whiff, and then you can get a poke on you. Or now you can say, well, just go for a meaty that covers both options, right? That covers the normal wake up and the delay wake up, and you can do that. For example, Garrus 4-2-1 would cover those two options. But the problem is, if they roll, they punish you. Great. So you see the problem here? So we'll remove the delay wake up. Okay, in terms of up 2s and up 3s, yes, they are minus. It varies, and up 2 is punishable, but you have to time it properly, and I think that's fine. There's no armor. That's good. Up 3s, it's fine that there's armor. I like it. However, it should be more minus. It should be punishable if it's blocked, because people are throwing it out there way too easily. Like, how many times has a Jade, Scarlet, or Shao Kahn thrown their up 3s just because? And if they block, if you block it, it's extremely hard to get a punish on them. It depends on the character too. Like, subs up 3 is safe. I think it's like -7. Why? And I don't remember the frames for the up 3s, but I don't think that they're all safe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think some of them can be punished, but I think that all of them should be punished. They should be all like -20 or something, right? Clearly punishable, or even -15. You don't have to make it that punishable, but you should have to be careful when you go for up 3s. You have to think about it. That's my opinion on that. When someone breaks away, this game, you hit confirm, and there are mind games, because someone, for example with Spawn, okay, when you hit confirm, you launch, and then Spawn goes in and does 3-4, and then he does like the soul steal, right? If you break on the 3-4, and you break now, and he will whiff his soul steal, you'll get up and punish him. You're getting punished for hit confirming, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that, because you're punishing me for playing the game properly, for winning, essentially. So what I propose is that when someone breaks away, they are forced to delay wake up. Like, it does it not on its own. So you remove delay wake up from the game when you're just getting knocked down. But when you break, then you have to delay wake up. You have to. This way, it wouldn't prevent all the situations of getting punished on hit for comboing, but it would prevent most of them, I think. Because then you have time to stop yourself if you're the player hit confirming and blocking, if it's that case, or something along those lines. Or if you really want to eliminate all the situations of getting punished for hit confirming, you can simply make the delay animation even longer, like twice as long as it currently is, right? And then you'd give a big advantage to the player that was hit confirming, because they'd have time to decide where they want to position themselves, and you'd no longer have punishes on hit confirms, which is completely ridiculous. I don't think it exists in any other game. Rewind also speaks to the slots and the abilities. He says that some slots should be 2, like he talks about Cetrion. He says that Cetrion should be able to equip Teleport, Wind Push, and Earthquake. I think that's a reasonable argument. It's a very, very, very strong build. Some argue the best in the game. I think Joker is the best in the game, but Cetrion is probably number 2. Most people disagree with my opinion, so that's fine. I think that's okay. Slots need to change. There are some slots that take 2 slots, and he speaks about Nightwolf. Nightwolf's launcher will always need to be 2 slots, but they can just break away immediately. Okay, so why is that the case when Wind Push, the Tornado, which is probably the best ability in the entire game, why is that 1 slot? and you still get to keep the wall. Okay, like his opinion is that we should revamp this, and that's fine. But my opinion is that we should just make all slots one ability. Let's just go crazy. Make it all abilities, all one abilities, so that you're gonna buff the low tier characters. The top tier characters are still gonna be top tier, and I would even say everything that conflicts, change the input. Nothing conflicts anymore. Let's just go crazy, and I think it'll be really interesting and fair. Because right now it's unfair that characters like Jackie and Cetrion have extremely strong builds, and then you have characters like Sindel who can't equip their launcher without spending 2 slots, and the launcher you can break immediately, and that's it. I think one of the best changes that they've made, like this game right now is in a really good place because they buffed Poke's hit advantage, which allows jailing to occur properly, and that has eliminated a lot of scrubbery that we see in the community, like the Scorpions that did down one, one on block, and then on hit. It should never have happened. Or, you know, when you were trying to jail, you did down 3, and then you try to proceed with standing 1. With Sonya, for example, and down 3 used to be 10 hit advantage, 10 frames of hit advantage. Then they just duck and down to you. You get punished for trying to jail. It was ridiculous, but now it's changed. Thank God. I think the game is in a good place right now. Just needs a little bit of tweaks here and there. I think that armor breakers were some of the best changes that they've made as well. Some of the most interesting changes, because to me, when I play a fighting game, I don't want the thinking to stop. When I get launched, I still want to be thinking. I want to be thinking, should I break now? Should I break later? There are mind games, right? If you get launched by Cabal, you're not sure when to break. You have to observe, to analyze, because he can armor break you and get a crushing blow. So I think that was great. Really good. The only problem is that the armor breakers, some of them completely suck. Like Sonya's 4-3 is the worst armor breaker in the game. What I think should happen is that, and the reason why it's the worst is because she gets more damage with the down 2. And so why would you ever break armor? It makes no sense, right? What I would do is every single armor breaker has a crushing blow. There you go. It would fix it. What I would have preferred is that armor breakers are down 2s and it relaunches. As simple as that. But that's not gonna happen. So anyways, I think this game needs changes. In terms of Cetrion, a lot of people have been speaking about Cetrion, debating the wind. There's a lot of people that want to see the wind to be nerfed. I agree. I think it should be nerfed to a certain degree, because most people in the cast need to reset. If they want to reset neutral, they need to spend a bar, like Noob Saibot Slide. But it's not, these comparisons are not really good, because, for example, Noob Saibot Slide has other properties than just resetting neutral, right? The properties that it has, it can zone, it stops neutral because it's a low, right? And it's very fast. So it's not comparable. The way that I would nerf Tornado, and I completely agree with Scar made that proposition, is just to reduce pushback. As simple as that. I want to be able to end 4-2-3 safely without having to spend meter, because otherwise you can't really use 4-2-3 if you don't have bar, right? And 4-2-3 is our best attack. So, and again, in comparison to Noob Saibot, Noob doesn't have to reset neutral. He's not unsafe on stuff. So, of course, you can say other than back 1, 1+3, but that's not like his main string. His main string is like back 3 and then 4-2. Stuff along those lines. But here, what I want is just reduce pushback. Don't keep it the way it is. It's interruptible right now with a 7 frame down 1. It will trade, or with a down 1 that's 6 frames, it will hit. So, and there's a flawless block gap already. It's not that strong. Chill out, people. So reduce the pushback. Maybe make it, I don't know, maybe -6. Right now it's -5 after the 4-2, and it's -3 after the 1-1. Or 2-1. So make it -5, reduce pushback, make it no pushback, and just as an ender that ends safely. And on amp, make it more plus. Right now it's +1 on amp. Make it keep the pushback and make it +6 or something. So maybe more, +8, like a jail for that allows you to go in for with 4-2 or for a grab. That would be a good change for Cetrion. For Joker, I think I don't want to start talking about the nerfs to all characters, but every time someone talks about Cetrion resetting neutral, they forget about Joker being able to reset neutral with his Jack in the Box. And it depends from what string. The Jack in the Box has a lot of problems right now. On some characters, against Cetrion, for example, if he does forward 1, I think it's forward 1-2, forward 1-2-3, right, the mid. If he does that, forward 1-2, and to Jack in the Box, and Cetrion is crouching, it just goes completely over her head. That shouldn't happen at all. The Jack in the Box should always touch. And the problem with the Jack in the Box is that there are two sorts of frames, right? If you do it from far, let's say you do it from the 4-2, you're going to bob the head, and you see it's a different animation. And when you bob the head, you're like -3 or less, or 2, or 1, or 0. And with Joker's mobility, he can just backdash, and he's completely fine. And if you run after him, he smacks you with standing 2 or 4-2. There's that, but then sometimes when he's too close, for example, if you do forward 1, and it doesn't go over someone's head, because sometimes it does, you're -14, so that's punishable with a reversal. And that's weird. It's weird that there are two sorts of frames, right? One that's punishable and one that's not. So I'd like to see some consistency here. Make it maybe -6, and let it never whiff. Something like that. I think that would be fine. I would like to see the frames fixed. I would like the frames to be consistent. It can't reset neutral if we want to be consistent with the changes I just proposed with Cetrion, right? Maybe just let it reset neutral if he amps. If he doesn't amp, it's just like a safe ender, and it's doesn't reset neutral. I think it'd be fine, right? Joker needs a nerf too. He's too strong, and we've seen it. Oh, and one more thing I would propose is that chip damage. I don't like chip damage because you're punished for blocking. I don't like this at all. And why does it make more chip to block a projectile? It's really significant. Like Joker's low gunshot. Did you see how much damage that makes? It makes so much damage for blocking it. Okay, what I think what should happen is that, you know, when you get hit normally with normals, there is chip, but it's very little. So either we take the projectile chip, we make it the same as the punching chip, or we remove chip at all. Like Tekken. Tekken I think has a tiny little bit of chip, but it's like almost nothing. So either you do that, or you remove chip completely, or you just make it consistent with the punches. Because I should not be getting punished for being defensive. Okay, I know I'm just blocking, but I'm blocking. I'm actually blocking. Why am I getting hurt? I'm not letting him hurt me, like hit me for real. It's really annoying when you face a runaway zoner like a Raiden that just chips you, and then you get close, he teleports away. Or he just Supermans away, right? And then he chips you, and then by the time you get to him, you're ready to punch him, you're like you lost a third of your life just for blocking. Thank you. You did nothing. I blocked everything you did, and I'm still getting hurt. Ridiculous. Why does it have to be like this? Please change it. Anyways, so some of those are my ideas. I wanted to look through Rewind's proposed game changes. They're really good. Rewind's an amazing player. By the way, you should go sub on his Twitch channel. Link in the description below. And the link that I'm going to put is going to be the one where he talks about this. So go check him out with a full video. It's really interesting to see Rewind play because he's so relaxed when playing Kombat League. And he's joking around, interacting with his chat. And it's almost satisfying to see him just annihilate people without effort, just chilling. He's not even a tryhard. He's just annihilating you like almost by not even paying attention to you and talking to his chat and then bursting you at the end. So anyways, it's really incredible to see these kinds of players. Really cool. Good music and funny face filters. So go follow him. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Peace.